good afternoon, Year 3 and 4. Welcome back to Story Time with the Midnight Gang, Chapter 26, The Taste of Pond. Wonderful news, exclaimed Dr. Loopers. There is nothing wrong with you. That's fantastic, replied Tom in the most unconvincing way. The pair were down in the X-ray room. Dr. Loopers was showing the boy a strange, transparent black and white photo of his head under a lamp. So, you can see the bump on your head is this outline here, began the young doctor. But if we look inside the head here, Lupus took out a pencil and pointed to a grey area where the boy's brain was meant to be. Then we can't make out any shaded areas at all. So I would say you don't have any internal bleeding. Are you sure, doctor? Pleaded the boy. Yes, it's absolutely super news. There's really no point you being here at all. No! Yes, it means you can go back to your boarding school immediately. Oh, Tom lowered his head and said nothing. Lupus looked a little baffled that this child was sulking because he could leave. Normally, patients wanted to get out of Lord Funt Hospital at the earliest opportunity. What's the matter, Tom? Asked the man. Nothing, it's just... What? Well, I've made some really good friends on the ward. Then make sure you get their address before you go and they can be pen pals. Pen pals sounded boring. Tom was yearning for more adventure. I will ask matron to call your headmaster right away to arrange for you to be collected as soon as possible. Tom realised he had to think fast if he was going to be able to stay with his new friends for another night of adventure. I feel very extremely hot, Doctor, he exclaimed. At his boarding school, a high temperature guaranteed you could leave a lesson and have a lie down in a sick bay. This was a particularly useful way of getting out of double maths on a Wednesday afternoon. Tom had even seen a boy put the end of a thermometer on a blazing hot radiator to fake illness. Are you sure? Asked Dr. Lupers. He felt the boy's forehead and wasn't at all convinced. Yes, I'm burning up, Doctor, lied the boy. Hotter than even a particularly hot cup of tea that is too hot to drink. Lupers whipped out a thermometer from his pocket and put it in the boy's mouth. Tom needed a distraction. I need a glass of water, Doctor, he mumbled with the thermometer in his mouth. Urgently, or as I'm so hot I might spontaneously combust. Oh dear, replied Lupus, a note of panic in his voice. As he flapped around the X-ray room like a trapped bird, Tom slipped the thermometer out of his mouth and put it next to the fiery hot light bulb. Immediately the temperature shot up. Then the boy slipped the thermometer back in his mouth, burning his tongue a little in the process. Lupus returned with a vase of flowers. I couldn't find a glass. This was the best I could do right now, I'm afraid. Lupus took the thermometer out of the boy's mouth and pulled the flowers out of the vase. Green water with bits of brown bobbing around in it lurked at the bottom. Be sure to drink it all, ordered Lupus. Reluctantly, the boy started sipping the rank liquid. Big gulps, please, said Lupus. Every last drop. Tom closed his eyes and swigged down the rest of it. It tasted of pond. And as he did so, Dr. Lupus studied the temperature in horror. Oh, no! What? Asked Tom. This is the highest temperature ever recorded for a human being. Tom worried he might have overdone it a bit. Do I win a prize, Doctor? He asked. No, but we're going to have to keep you in hospital until your temperature goes back down to a normal level. Lupus whipped out a medical form and began making notes on it. Do you have a headache? Oh, yes. Fever? Yes, I'm burning up. Cold sweats? Yes, suddenly I'm freezing. Aching joints? Oh, yes. Blurred vision? Yes, but sorry, who is it who's speaking? Dry throat? It's hard to answer, my throat is so dry. Excessive tiredness? I don't have the energy to answer. Hearing problems? Sorry, can you repeat that? Pain when you pass water? Yes, it hurt when I walked past a fish tank. Chronic indecisiveness? Yes and no. Doctor, you name it, I've got it. Lupus broke out in a sweat. His voice cracked with a panic. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. It's a miracle you're still alive. We need to do hundreds of tests, heart tests, blood tests, brain tests. Let's just do every test that there is. Then we'll get you straight back up on the children's ward. Tom didn't say it out loud, but in his head he shouted the most enormous "Yes!" "Nurse! Nurse!" shouted the doctor, looking as if he was about to faint. Nurse Meese, who had met Tom on his arrival at the hospital, rushed into the X-ray room. "What now, doctor?" "It's an emergency. This boy needs to do tests right now." "What tests?" "All of them. Any you can think of. Now, now, now!" spluttered Loopers. "Fetch 2 trolleys." "Why do you need 2?" demanded Nurse Meese. "Because I think I'm going to pass out," replied Dr. Loopers. Join us again soon for another story time.